Okay, I just want to show you, this is the pile of scraps that we have to deal with. They were all sitting in between the sink and here, and it's just too much. So I got to find a different way to organize those. So that's what we're going to do right now. So as you saw at the beginning of this, I had all these bags. They were all across my floor, and that's because they were in between my sink and one of the containers, but my husband put up a stamp holder there this past weekend, so I had to get all of those out so that he could get in there and put up the stamp holder. And then I was like, okay, I think in a recent video I said I must have like maybe 10 or 20 of those bags. I counted them when I moved them over. 38 bags. Now I have to say some of them are from like crops that I went to, and they gave you little kits. So there's a ton of embellishment and that kind of stuff. So it's time to get those cleaned out. So I made myself another cup of coffee. So good. Now I cleared up 2 of these containers. I don't think I have enough. This is when I thought I had 10 to 20, but we'll start with those 2. And we're going to go through them a little bit like this. That should not be in there. Okay. I'm wondering too, I don't want to take out the full sheets of pattern paper, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes I use those as, my background. Oh, there's an embellishment. We'll put that there. Sometimes I use those as a background. So it's nice to have full sheets of paper. So I'm not going to throw out anything, I don't think. I'm just going to try to put it in these containers sort of as flat as I possibly can. Not like you see here how it has a big mound. I'm going to try not to do that because it's going to fill up way faster, right? Now, should I be trying to make page kits while I'm doing this? Maybe, but I'm trying to just get this organized, right? And then from now on, when I go to make page kits, I can just grab one of these, and maybe I can dedicate one of my towers, and that can be my tower of scraps. And I explained in the last video why I don't want to do it by color, because I want to really work on, using different colors on the layout. I don't want to do tone on tone. I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm just saying I don't want to do it all the time. So by having different colors in there, it's going to make it so that, it'll work better. Now, that was a pretty full one. And some of them only have a little bit of pattern like this. So that's why I think it's not going to take 31 of those containers, right? Because a lot of these only have a little bit of pattern. And like, why, I need these. I need these to make page kits. And, that chipboard, that should go somewhere else. I have pictures in there. See, that's the kind of stuff I am going to move over. If I find embellishments, I'm going to move them over. Oh my goodness. That's when A's was shaved. And okay, this is a pretty full one. That is definitely not going to fit in here. So we'll move on to a smaller one. And I'm not going to put them on this right away because I'd like to quickly go through them. Like not, in detail, but like this. It has embellishments in here. So let's put that in our little embellishment. And look, some enamel dots. Let's put all this away. This, I'm going to try and put it where it belongs right away, Like before I finish my session up here in my scrap room, I want to make sure that I get everything kind of put away. Okay. So I'm putting all of these to the side, and then I'll be able to tell how many I've put in here. And then I'll kind of have an idea how many of those plastic containers I'm going to need. I definitely know 2's not enough, but I thought I would start with 2. And then, oh, look, a background. And then we'll go from there. Thankfully, all the ones I'm grabbing right now, they're not very big. So they'll fit in this one. See, it's when there's a whole bunch of little scraps all on one side, then it makes it have a bump. Let's just kind of separate that. That's an embellishment, an embellishment. Okay. I kind of like this. I was just looking at the branding strip. You know, if it has something on it that I might use, then yeah, I'm going to keep it. If not, if it's just a branding strip, then bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. See, this is garbage. There. This can be thrown out. Not that it's going to make a whole lot of difference in my container here, but like why keep it? Just get rid of it. Some more embellishments. Oh, see this? I'll put away. Same as that full sheet of grid paper. Like put it back where it belongs, and next time I'm looking for that specific thing, it'll be where it needs to be. Okay, let's see. Let's just see how many things we put in here, because it's getting pretty full. 1, 2, 3. Keep that big one for another one, because 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's try to put a couple more, because I have quite a few that are just little stuff. And then that way, it'd be nice if I could do 10, because then that means, hopefully, that means that, you know, well, technically 10, it would be 4 of them, but I think like that big one will probably take a whole thing by itself. But if I could keep it to 4 or 5 of those, no, 10 would be 4. So 5 or 6 of those, then I would be happy, because then, you know, it's going to clean up next to my sink, first of all, because that was, to me, it was an eyesore. I didn't like that. And like I said, I'm working on spots of my layout, trouble spots. And at first, I'm doing all the stuff that you can see, all the stuff that is visible, right? All the stuff that when you first walk in the room, you can go, oh yeah, I see that very plainly. So, okay. A lot of that stuff that's in that container, I'm going to move it to my other container with leftover embellishments. Oh, this. Because I like to keep this little container pretty empty, and it's pretty full now that I've done this. So we'll do that. That'll be another thing I do today, is I'll bring that pretty much down to 0. Okay. Here's another one that's not a lot of stuff. And it's going to free up another bag, which I kind of, kind of need lately, because I'm going to be working on that Project 100, you know, quite a bit. These are like chipboard type, so I'll put that where I keep that kind of stuff. So let's see if I can put this one here. I am grabbing the smaller ones, but also I know that there's some in there that are mainly embellishments, and those I will put them where they belong, like embellishment sheets, if you will. So I will put them in my craft room where they belong. Well, look at that. A picture even framed, or not framed, but matted. So I am finding treasures in these. I'm not going through it like, you know, with a fine comb, but let me see if I can still close it. Yeah, maybe one more. Let's see. Maybe a very, very thin one. This is pretty thin. So let's say when I went to Crop and Create and they gave us page kits, I come home and, you know, when I unpack it, I just kind of, oh, this is already in one of these, you know, in a plastic. So I'm just going to put it in that pile over there. No more. Okay, I think we've hit our limit. I think it must be close to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We did 10. Yay. Okay. So now I've done one in real time. So now I'm going to put you on fast forward and we'll do the rest. And I'll do a voiceover. So I'm having so much fun getting my scrap room organized. And I found that, you know, I did a major cleanup. You saw I put up a video there where I did a major cleanup. So my desk was clean. Everything on the, you know, that was on the floor was gone. Everything was clean. But now I'm targeting areas of my scrap room that still needs to be organized. And definitely the scrap paper was definitely something that needed to be organized. And I can say that since I've done this, I've made some page kits and it was a joy because I took everything out of one container, which so many scrapbook, you know, papers and cardstock, and I was able to make 9 page kits for Patreon, no problem. And you know, the more that I use it right now, all of these containers, I ended up with 4 containers. That's how many it took. I was a little worried at first because I had 38 page kits or 38 bags where I had that many, you know, pattern papers and stuff. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to fit those in 4 containers. But luckily, as I was putting some away, like you just saw, that was a full package of pattern paper. It was close to my heart pattern paper. I took that and I put it away where it belongs. And, you know, there was a few other ones like that where it was page kits and it was, you know, a lot of embellishments. So they didn't end up in those containers. So that worked out great. And you'll see at the end of the video, now I have a cart that I got at Michael's years ago, and it fits the iris containers like this. And I have all my scrap paper. I have a container full of embellishments, and then I have 2 of my containers that is for Project 100. So now I kind of have a little station that is just for my Project 100, or if you will, for making page kits, which turned out really great. Another thing that I found a lot of was pictures. I found so many pictures in these scraps. So as I was finding them, I made a little pile, and now they're kind of the next pictures that I'm going to scrap. I also found a sketch and it had flowers with it. And actually the live that I did last Thursday, I used that sketch and the flowers, and I ended up making a page. Now, one thing I'm doing is I'm numbering those containers, so scrap 1 to 4. And what would be my reason for that? Well, like today I made some page kits and I used, the scrap bin number 2. Well, next time when I go to make page kits with those, I'm going to choose 3, 4, or 1, and then I'm going to be picking from a different pool of pattern papers. But I have to say the best thing is that I no longer have 38 bags between one of my containers and my sink. That area is nice and clean right now. And now I'm going to come live and show you that container where I keep everything. Okay, so I want to show you where I put those containers. So the first 4 is a scrap 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th one is some embellishments, and then the last 2 at the bottom is my Project 100. So everything that I'm going to use for Project 100 is going to be right here in this tower. So that worked out perfect. And that's right next to where I work. So again, perfect.